Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to the Legacy of Supers on HGN. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is, simply put, another villain in the Batman series, and I will say for sure that this is one that's probably been a little while coming, because seeing as I've already talked about the Joker, seeing as I've already talked about Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Doomsday, and I just talked about Darkseid as well, I might as well go ahead and make one last honorable tribute to one more highly popular and highly characterized villain in the DC universe, Harley Quinn. Yeah. I've mentioned before that the Arkham series of video games was in fact one of the top sources that I can get a lot of my information from, so I'm going to refer back to that some more. So anyways, in accordance with Harley Quinn, Harley and Quinzel, well, the story is that Harley and Quinzel, who wasn't even known as Harley Quinn at the time, but of course some people just referred to Quinzel as Harley for some reason. Well, anyways, Harley Quinzel was a psychiatric professor in the Arkham area. Okay. So in other words, Harley Quinn at the time, just Harley and Quinzel, was able to really get some attention from most criminals and inmates who were going from places like Blackgate and the Arkham Asylum areas and all that good stuff here and there. But you know what? The Joker eventually comes by to Blackgate, and Harley and Quinzel, of course, comes by to go ahead and make a little interview with the Joker. Joker was able to become so mentally unstable at one point that it somehow causes Harley and Quinzel to eventually lose control and eventually go ahead to help the Joker escape from prison. And that's where Harley Quinn was born. So I will say in a way that the story was pretty convincing. I mean, a psychiatric professor who was especially trained in the art of mental health could easily break after a conversation with the one and only Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker. I mean, that is amazing, in a way. And I will say for sure that in more recent years, with the character Harley Quinn becoming as big enough to be in some things out there like Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and in more recent times we got the new Birds of Prey film, which came out back in February. So it has been about, 8 or 9 months since that film came out. And I guess now is a perfect timing for me to go ahead and start talking about Harley Quinn inside the Birds of Prey film from 2020. What I could say for sure is that, well, the film itself is pretty awesome. I gave it a personal rating of around 7.8 out of 10. And it's for a good reason. It stars a pretty good cast out there with most actors and the like that we've known pretty well, such as, well, Margaret Robbie, Ewan McGregor, Journey Smollett-Bell, and many others here and there. But other than all that, I mean, the film itself is a pretty big take on the main story of Harley Quinn eventually being broken up with the Joker, and this eventually causes Harley to lose control so bad that, well, Ace Chemicals ends up getting blown to smithereens. And eventually the law finds out about Harley Quinn's doings here and there. And as a result of that, well, the rest of the entire film is just about finding a diamond, which ends up getting swallowed by a minority. Yeah, someone who's below 18, basically. That's basically what ends up happening at one point in the film. A young child, in the film, that is, ends up swallowing a very expensive diamond. And it's up to Harley Quinn and some others here and there to fish it out of the kid's stomach. And there are a few ways that they try to go ahead and make that happen, but I tell you, the film is already pretty amazing for its very comedic sort of dialogue and also its intense fighting action. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind that you could probably find anywhere. But Birds of Prey really made sure to stand out from most other films with fighting sequences taking place in some of the scenes. I mean, the type of combat that they've been trained on for this film, it's just incredible. There's been a handful of different combat trainings and tactics that they were trained on, so that way the film could go the exact way as it was planned. But anyways, Harley Quinn as a whole, whether or not we have people out there who portray the character like Arlene Sorkin, Tara Strong, Margaret Robbie, or many others out there, man, the list could go on and on and on about that here and there, but the film itself is just probably one of my all-time favorites. Based on the DC universe, I mean, the Detective Comics extended universe has been getting a lot better in recent years. Starting with Aquaman in December 2018, and then with Shazam and Joker following close behind, and more recently we got Birds of Prey, and we also have Wonder 1984. WW84. I mean, that's a pretty good name in and of itself. I mean, even the poster looks spectacularly vibrant. I love how the colorful thing just takes on. Well, anyways, that's just all I got to talk about the character Harley Quinn and about the Detective Comics universe and the Detective Comics extended universe and everything relating to DC as a whole. Because tomorrow is going to be the last day of HJN Legacy of Supers. And you'll probably want to guess what villain in particular that I'm going to be talking about. The only hint you'll get is based on the color of this shirt and this cap. But until then, stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll have that episode up and ready to go then. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side. Yeah.